Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Teeny Tinies Teeny Barbecue Grill with 19 pieces. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And, you know, we got some leafy stuff going on back here. Teeny Tinies Teeny Barbecue Grill, 19 pieces in some slime. I don't know. Maybe it's spilled mustard. On the front, we've got a nice big window showcasing all the parts, or at least most of the parts, maybe all the parts. It says Teeny Tinies again. Adult supervision required, ages 6 and up, 19 pieces. And it says one set. See back for full contents and details. Teeny Barbecue Grill. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. RMS. And I guess that's who makes it. The Toy Association. Designed in the USA. Another great product by RMS. So, there you go. So there's all kinds of small, fine legalese, made in China print, a barcode, and, you know, this stuff I just read. Teeny Tinies on this side. Teeny Tinies, and it's showcasing some of the parts that are in here. And Teeny Tiny showcasing some other parts that are in here. Teeny Barbecue Grill. And then here on the back, tells you what we got. Teeny Tinies Teeny Barbecue Grill, adult supervision required, ages 6 and up. Includes 19 teeny pieces. At least it doesn't say teeny weeny. And then 19 pieces again. We got ketchup, mustard, a knife, grill fork, 2 burger buns, 2 kebabs, a plate, 2 hot dogs, 1 hot dog bun, steak burger, a pair of tongs, grill grates, propane tank, and a grill. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the accessory pack. And here we have handy dandy tweezers, because there's, you know, a good bit of small stuff here. So first up, let's take a look at the tongs. And I have to say, they do have some nice molded details on it. It's molded in this like silvery gray plastic. And it is not hinged at all. So that was a little bit of a disappointment, but you know, for the price of this thing, you know, it's hard to argue with that. So next up we have the fork. It's got a nice black paint app on it for the handle. It's got a hole in it right there. And I think that's for storage, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then we have a knife, again in that silvery gray kind of plastic with a black paint app for the handle. Next up we have a couple of kebabs. And, you know, nicely, you know, nice bit of detail in it with some paint apps for what it is. And it does look pretty good, and there's 2 of those. And as far as I can tell, they're the same. They could be different though. Slightly. Yeah, I think they are slightly different. So 2 different kinds of kebabs. Next up we have the 1 hot dog bun. And if I had one complaint, really major complaint with this set, it's that it comes with 2 hot dogs and 1 bun. So, and you can see there's a little bit of stuff there where it came out of the mold, but again, for what these things cost, I guess that's to be expected. Then here's the plain hot dog. And then it does have another hot dog, and it has mustard on it. So a nice little mustardy paint app on there. And it kind of looks like it's translucent in places, but it could just be that's not painted all the way. And how that works is it just sits in there. It doesn't clip in or anything. It doesn't stay due to friction. It just sits in there. And that is with both of the weenies. So next up we have a plate or a platter, however you want to describe it. It's white. It's a plate or platter, whatever. Next up we have a piece of steak, and you know, it's looks like it's molded in this color here, and then the bone is a paint app, and not a lot of detail in here and not a lot going on with the paint apps, but again, for the price of this set, to be expected. Now here we have the hamburger patty, and I have to say there's not a lot of detail to this. I mean, at first glance I thought it was pizza, like a small pizza with pepperoni and cheese on it, but it's not. These are supposed to be small tomato slices. I'm guessing, because there's no real molded detail in there to tell you that it's a tomato. But you know, again, for what this thing costs, not expecting a ton of detail and paint apps on it. There's actually more detail in it than what I was expecting. Here's the bottom bun for the hamburger. Here's the top bun, and again you can see where it came out of the mold there, off of the sprue or whatever. So no lettuce for this burger, but it's got tomatoes, and you know, it just sits together. It doesn't peg in place or anything like that, so not bad. Next up we have a bottle of mustard with no label on it, but it's yellow, so you know that's what it is. Then we have the ketchup, and it's red, so we know that's ketchup, and the way the lid is, and you know, coupled with the shape and everything, even though there's no label to identify it. So next up here we have the LP tank, the natural gas tank, the whatever you want to call it. So it's the tank. Unfortunately, there's no hoses to you know, attach to it or whatever, but you know, it's fine. And it looks like a gas tank. Then we have the grates that fit inside. Again, they're just plain grates. So that's all cool. Now let's take a look at the grill itself. And again, you know, it's not highly detailed, but it's detailed enough that you know what it is, what it's supposed to be. So here we have the griddle plate on this side, and then there's a knob there for it. There's a spot here that's supposed to be the temperature gauge, and we've got 3 dials on it and the ignition switch. We've got 2 little posts right here that I'm guessing are for the tongs and the fork to hang on. We've got these handles here. The lid is hinged, so you open it up, and there's some nice molded details inside there to keep grease and stuff off the burners. And on the back side you can see there's the hinges here. On this side you can see the hinges for the doors, and there's handles right here, and the doors do open up, and you have some storage space in there. One is for your LP tank to go under there, and then, you know, it's so there's that. So it all looks pretty neat, and the way the grates work is they just sit in there, and then you can grill wieners or burgers, steaks, you know, whatever. If you have other food sets, I'm sure you could do that. Now this is a little weird that this is in rather than flat, so I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but that's the way it is. And let's see, the fork, it doesn't fit on either one of those pegs. The tongs will hang on it, so that's cool. So I'm guessing if I were to drill this out a bit, I could get it to fit on there. Yeah, it don't even fit the ignition switch. So, but you don't really have to do that. You can put your fork and your knife here in the tray, cooking the burger, you know, whatever. Got some mustard up there for when those weenies come off. So again, I'll have to say, for what this costs, it is a nice little set, and that's cool. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have selections from the Teeny Tinies barbecue accessory set, with selection from the SH Figuarts Son Goku's Harahachi Bunmei accessory set. For our last set of comparisons, here we have selections from the Teeny Tinies barbecue grill set, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From the G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Teeny Tinies barbecue grill set, the 19-piece set, I really have to say I think it's a really, really good value for the money. I picked this up at Five Below. I want to say it was like $5 or $6. Maybe it was a little bit more than that, but not by much. And I really think for what you get in here, it really is a good value for the price. If I had to pick two things that, well, there's two things that come to mind that really would have made this a better set, in my opinion. Of course, your mileage may vary, but it really irks me that it only came with one hot dog bun for 2 hot dogs. That would, one more little piece in there, wouldn't hurt your profit margins that much. And the grill is a bit short for 1/12 scale, but the rest of the size of it is pretty accurate, I think. And the height of it can be, you can put something under the bottom of it to raise it up and increase that height. Of course, that's going to throw the look of it off a little bit, but it is what it is. And again, for the amount of stuff you're getting, the deco on it, and the price, I think it's really, a really good value. And of course, I know I'm probably not the first guy to run across this piece. I may be the first person to review it. I don't know. I'm probably not that either. But, you know, I think this, if you're at all interested in building out a world, you know, or adding some pizzazz to your action figure display, or even photography, you know, this is a set I think you really ought to look at. And especially if you do stuff with paint, you know, there's some things that could be better on this that you can do at home. You can design your own ketchup and mustard stickers to go on the bottles. You got a little paint detail to the steak. You can add some wear and tear to the grill and the LP tank. And, you know, so there's things you can do if you think this looks a little plain. You know, there's things you can do to spruce it up a little bit. If that is your forte. It's not necessarily my forte. But, you know, to each their own. And again, for the detail on this and the price and the amount of accessories that you're getting, I think it's a really good value. And if you're at all interested in any of those things I mentioned earlier, you know, this is something that, if you don't already have it, of course, that you should maybe look into if you're interested in world building or filling out your display or photography, or just giving your G.I. Joe Classified Series Roadblock something to do in his off time. Because we know he likes to cook. Marvin loves to cook. So there's all that. And again, you know, I've said it a bunch now, but it's in my opinion, and again, your mileage may vary, but it's a really good deal for what you're getting. Or what you're getting is good for the price. Whatever, however you want to phrase it, it's a good deal, in my opinion. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.